you kind of save the time and can use it as...
The company basically can't make you do overtime unpaid really in Austria anymore.
According to some jobs, only 22% of Japanese companies. So we need to use our paid holidays if we get sick. And what do you think about that compared to your country?
It basically makes you, like if you work in Japan, it makes you work.
I think we have more like the culture of work-life.
Do you want to give some advice to Japanese people?
It's hard to...
Okay, so thank you for your time today. I'm Louis. What's your name?
I'm Dominic.
I'm also Dominic.
I'm René.
Okay, where are you from?
We are from Austria.
Austria. Okay. So, and are you traveling Japan?
Yes,
Yes,
for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. Okay. And first, I will ask you about paid holidays in your country. And sorry, what's your job?
I'm a software engineer.
Software engineer.
I'm also a software engineer and
Okay.
a university student.
I'm working with metal.
Working with metal.
Metal, yeah.
Okay. So is that factory you work for?
In a factory to produce different products for many companies.
I see. Manufacturing.
Manufacturing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you guys are employee, right?
Yes.
Not self-employed. Employee. You work for the company.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. And first question, how in Japan we have 10 paid holidays within a year. It's low, but most people don't take them all due to high pressure within a year. But in your country, how many paid holidays do you have? And what's the legal minimum?
Actually, it depends on how long you work in the company, but I think the legal minimum is 25 holidays.
25.
Exactly, and I think it can go up to 30.
Exactly.
Okay. So when you enter the company, immediately you get the 25. Or in Japan, we have 10 days paid holidays. After 6 months, we enter the company. How about you in your country?
I don't know exactly when it is awarded, but basically within like the time span of 1 year, you get usually 5 weeks as a basis. And
Yes.
once you've been employed for about 10 years, I think most companies do it constantly at the same company, and you get an extra week. So
Longer. It gets longer if you work long to the
exactly,
company.
if you stay loyal to the company.
I see. And people usually get 25 days within a year. They take all within a year, or
Yeah.
they will take leave.
We have to take the holidays, or else holiday like between them.
You basically get stripped. Basically, if you abstain from taking the holiday, then you can no longer like eventually take it. And kind of the company wants you because of certain laws that are in place. They want you to take the holiday as well.
Okay, so
So they have to save the money they would have to pay you for the holidays. Because
really?
when you have holidays left and you leave the company has to pay those holidays to you.
really? So you need to
they-
take them.
Yeah, we need to take them.
Oh, so that's the kind of a motivation for a company to take employees to take all because they don't want to pay, right?
Exactly. yeah.
Okay, that's a good system.
Yeah, really great.
And people, what do people usually do with holidays? Like traveling abroad or
Traveling, take time for themselves, different for family or different reasons why we take holiday.
I see. And in Japan, the government made a new law about we must take minimum 5 days within a year because we have 10 days holidays, but most people don't use them within a year. So we must take 5 days. That's low. But we take the 5 days separately, like throughout a year, not connect together. But in your country, like you said, like 25 days. So you take them all at once or like connect 1 week, 2 week together.
Yeah, for example, on certain public holidays, when they are like on a Tuesday or Thursday,
Yes.
many people take the Mondays or Fridays off, so they have like a really long weekend.
Yes.
Or they take like 1 or 2 weeks and travel somewhere.
Okay. So is it common? How long is the common to take? Like 1 month is, 25 full days connect together is kind of long for you. So
Yes.
like,
If you
Oh.
take all that time at once, then
Yes.
you will have a lot of work pile up by the time you return to your work. Or well, it depends
You're gonna
on
be
what
really
exactly
busy.
you do. But yeah, so usually we take them in bits of up to 2 weeks. Usually, like we do these 2 weeks. But yeah, it really depends.
so 2 weeks is kind of common to take. And has your boss ever complained about your paid holidays? No?
No.
So they will say, okay, you can take.
It's almost like a very almost like a holy thing in the workplace. Like your holidays really just belong to you.
Yes.
And you do have to like tell your boss in advance, like a fairly long time, but that will usually be established previously how long in advance you have to take them.
Yes, yes. So if you finish your project or job, it's okay. I see. And about overtime, do you work overtime often?
I don't know what it's called in English, but we have where I work. There's a system where basically there are no fixed points on time when I have to be there. It's like a scale. Like sometime between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock I can arrive, and then sometime between 2:30 and 8 in the afternoon I can stop working.
So you can choose and you can control your
Exactly.
working time.
It's like a very fluid thing, like a scale, basically, where I can choose when I want to start and when I want to end. But I do have a certain amount of time within the week I have to meet, but I can like say I will work 2 hours less one week and then 2 hours more the next week, for
Okay.
example.
Okay.
In my company, there are fixed times, and we have to work overtime. We gain the time, so we can go earlier sometimes, or we can stay at the home.
I see. So usually 8 hours a day and 5 days per week.
Exactly, yeah, that's the most common thing. But sometimes now it's like 38 and a half hours in a week.
Okay.
So the Friday is kind of shorter.
Okay. So Friday you can leave earlier. So in Japan, most people work overtime, but there is a practice called unpaid overtime. It's if you work overtime, it's free. You will get not paid. Like that sometimes I mean it's like according to some data, it says 44% of the Japanese company have kind of a custom, and if you finish your job, you work like 15 minutes overtime or 30 or sometimes longer, they will not get paid. You have that kind of culture in your country?
It kind of depends on the contract you have with the company. There are things like they're called all-in contracts, where you get fixed amount of money on top of your salary
Yes.
for all the hours you work overtime. But when you don't have one of those all-in contracts and you work overtime, you kind of save the time and can use it as free time for another day.
Oh,
The company basically can't make you do overtime unpaid really in Austria anymore.
okay. And you say if you work overtime, you can save the hours you worked
Yeah,
for holidays, you say?
yeah, for example, if I work 1 hour above my weekly time,
Yes.
so like 41 hours instead of 40, in the next week I can work 39 hours and
Oh, I
leave
see.
one early. Or if I build up the time
Yes.
and have a whole day, so 8 hours, I can leave a whole day.
Oh, that's nice. That's very fair. Even if you finish on time, there is kind of a pressure to leave on time if your coworkers or your manager still work. Do you have that in your country?
No,
Not
Yeah.
really.
Not really. So if you finish job on time, you just go home.
Yeah.
That's it. So no one cares and nobody's
no.
okay. I see. And the last question is, oh, sorry. I mean, do you have sick leaves in your country? Sick leaves.
Yeah, when you get sick, you basically can, at least in my company, it's handled like if I'm up to 3 days sick, I just have to tell the company. And if I'm more than 3 days sick, I have to go to the doctor and get an approvement for the sick
Okay.
leave. And yeah, basically, as long as I'm sick, I can stay home.
Oh, I see.
And it's also paid, but I don't know what the limit is as to how long you can
Yes.
have a year and it still be paid, but it's very generous in Austria.
So it's paid full amount of your salary. And according to some data, only 22% of Japanese company have sick leaves for employees. So there is no law about that. So most companies don't have that. So we need to use our paid holidays if we get sick. And what do you think about that compared to your country?
It's not so nice.
It's not so nice.
Yeah, I think you'd rather spend holidays somewhere traveling instead of homesick.
Right, right.
It basically makes you, like if you work in Japan, it makes you work while you're sick even, which is like kind of
Sure.
unacceptable in my opinion, but yeah.
Yes, yes. So, okay, this is last question. In Japan, there is an expectation. Company expects you to work and sacrifice your time in your sometimes life to contribute to your company. So you need to work long hours and you need to work long time, like 10 years, 20 years. In your country, do you have that kind of system, kind of culture, kind of idea?
I think we have more like the culture of work-life balance.
Yes.
So the company wants you to be well, be at home, spend time with your family, and have some hobbies other than work. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in your country, so company wants you to have a work-life balance. Okay, I see. And what are your thoughts on Japanese working culture and the way Japanese people work?
Knowing how it is in Austria, I don't think I could do it personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I think many people would burn out from working very long hours,
Yes.
unpaid overtime.
And how about you?
Yeah, the high risk to have a not after a short amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you want to give some advice to Japanese people from your perspective, from Australians' perspective?
Yeah, maybe take at least those 10 days holidays in a year.
Okay.
It's hard to give a solution given the framework that is established in Japan. I think it's like change would need to come from the top down, if anything, rather than the workers that can't really do anything about
Right.
it.
I see. Thank you for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you.